Hi you guys, this is Karina. So I am back with another video tutorial, and it's just going to be a refresher on my template 44, which is my Marigold inspired template. So we are facing my floral wall here in my office, just to show you what the Marigold looks like if you are not familiar with my template 44 Marigold inspired flower. Reason why is, as you can see, these marigolds are huge. So we have one over here, your classic marigold color, and then this orange one right here. So this template is meant to make large paper flowers. So if you want something around 16 to like 20 inches, I think the smallest with this one you can make is 9 inches. So this is definitely a template if you want large paper flowers. Like I said, this one I believe is roughly around, I want to say if she's 21 inches, she's huge. And I didn't even use the largest petal. So this template could definitely, I mean, she's pretty huge, and she comes with 15 petals and 3 bases. So there is a mini version, and there is a video tutorial on the mini version, which is my template 91, which is the baby version that only comes with 6 petals, and it's to make small little marigolds. And you can actually see one of them tucked right here next to this one right here. So do you see her right here, this little cutie right here? That is template 91. So it is a mini version, because when I released template 44, I received so many messages requesting, can you please make her into a smaller version? You know, and I understand, because a lot of clients do prefer smaller paper flowers than larger paper flowers. So I definitely wanted to have that option as well for you guys. So there is that option, as I said, template 91, if you just want small paper flowers. Just keep in mind though, that one is limited as to how many petals. It only comes with 6 petals and 3 bases, whereas template 44, she comes with 15 petals. Okay, so we're gonna make today one of the marigolds. We're gonna be using not cardstock today. I like to switch things up sometimes and use different type of materials, just to show you that you don't have to strictly use cardstock paper. And we're gonna make a smaller version, obviously, so that way you guys can see it on my desk, because there's no way if I assemble a large one that you'd be able to see the whole thing. But pretty much the way that I'm going to show you today how to assemble this marigold is exactly the same way how you're going to assemble all the other sizes. So before I take you to my desk to get started with the tutorial, I want you to take a look at what the SVG looks like, because when I first released this template, she was only available in PDF and hard copy. SVG was never in mind for cutting machines. That's because this template has been around for quite a bit, you guys. Before, like, I feel like Cricut then wasn't as popular, and Silhouette, and now I think a lot of people prefer to have their cutting machines cut out the petals. So she is converted to an SVG, so I just kind of wanted to give you a little walkthrough of what that looks like. Okay, you guys, so first thing is first, if you get the SVG template, you are going to download the SVG first, okay? And as soon as you download, go to your cutting program, whether that is Cricut Design Space or if it's Silhouette, and you're gonna go to the upload, okay? So from here, you're going to look for where you saved it. Most likely, if you're gonna download, it's gonna be underneath your download option, but because, I mean, this is my personal one, I need to see, oh, there she is. So you're just gonna look for the name of it, and you're going to open her up. Now, oh, kind of blurry, there we go, can you see? Now, for some reason, some of the templates, SVG templates, you will receive a message like this, saying that why is this so blurry? Hold on, you guys. Okay, I hope that's a little bit better, but for some reason, some of the SVG, I don't know if it's because of the programming that I use. Sometimes the text that I use on the program is not supported by Cricut. And that is perfectly fine. Please don't be alarmed if you get this message. And for some reason, sometimes I've noticed that on my desktop, I will get the message, but not necessarily like on my iPad or my phone. I don't know why. But if you do get this message in any of my SVG templates, please don't be alarmed saying that the text doesn't work. Just click continue. And as you can see, the SVG is uploaded, okay? So then once that is uploaded, you're just gonna go over here and click on upload and just wait a couple of seconds. Now you are going to add to canvas, okay? And there she is. This is what you are going to see. Now notice that this is kind of grouped together, and I'm sorry if it's shaking because I'm holding it with one hand. So what you're going to want to do after this, and this applies to any of my other SVGs, you are going to want to ungroup. Now I have noticed that if you are a Silhouette user, I have noticed that it automatically already ungroups everything. At least in my case, it does. When I am on Design Studio for Silhouette, for some reason for Cricut, it just stays grouped. No problem, just click the ungroup. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know why I'm so shaky over here. So definitely click that ungroup so that way the parts will get separated. Okay, what's going on here? Why are we now? Oh, there we go. So there you go. We are separated, and then that will have to separate it too, the circles. And you'll know if they separated when you see all this over here individually, okay? Now in the instructions right here, it's going to tell you exactly what you need to change. And notice that it says you have to keep the image locked, meaning make sure that the little, you see that little lock right there, is locked. You don't want to unlock that. Keep it locked, and you're only going to change the height. So for example, green petal is telling me it's going to be 10.4. So remember, we're only doing height, so you are going to go up here and change the measurements to 10.4, enter. And voila, it has changed. And can you see that? That petal is huge. Yes, template 44 is a huge petal or template. So you are going to adjust the sizing to all the petals. And once you do that, even the circles, and once you have adjusted all this sizing, you guys, make sure that you save this so you don't have to keep repeating and having to adjust the petals, okay? So I just wanted to throw that out there. And just a little tip here. Let me move this one out of the way so you can see. I want you to notice that some of them say 4.472 or 6.986. You know, it's not like a quick, simple number. That's just me because I was trying to be a perfectionist and trying to get it exactly to the same size as when I created this as a hard copy template. Because when I created this template, it was hand drawn. It was no programming, nothing like that. I drew these petals out for you guys. So obviously I grabbed a ruler and measuring and going back and forth. So that's kind of the exact measurement of the original template. But if you just want to round, that's perfectly fine. If you want to make the black 4.5 instead of 4, or even 4.4 and not worry about the 7.2, go ahead. Hot pink 6.9. If you want to make that 6.9 exact or a 7, that's perfectly fine. I just wanted to throw that out there. So I just wanted to show you what the SVG looks like for you guys. And now let's get back to the tutorial. All right, you guys, so I am back with the tutorial on how to assemble this marigold. Now, I do have a video tutorial on how I assembled this one. I want to say 2 years ago. It's been a while, maybe even 3 to be quite honest with you. So I do have the tutorial on this one. She is from my wall, so she is looking a little beat up because she was part of my floral wall that I have in my office going. But she's definitely smaller enough for me to put her on my table to show you guys. So she is roughly around 13 inches, 12, 13 inches. So again, that video tutorial is available for you to watch. I will have it linked below. So as mentioned before, template 44 and 91, they're pretty much the same petal shape and pretty much assembled exactly the same way, the way the petals are prepped and whatnot. But let me just show you. So here is template 44. Okay, so remember, you get 15 petals to make different size marigolds from, I want to say the smallest roughly you can make around is 9 inches, but you can definitely go up to the 20-inch mark. So, I mean, again, they're huge. So then here is template 91, just to show you the size difference. It's a huge difference. So with template 91, as mentioned, you only received 6 petals, and this is just to make smaller little cuties. Now, the only difference here when assembling, is that when I assemble template 44, I use 4 petals. As for 91, because you are limited with the amount of petals, I only do 3 petals. And pretty much, as you can see here, we have pretty much 4 layers, 1, 2, 3, 4 of petals. So with 91, you kind of want the same effect. So I just double, and I will explain the video. I always double the first petal 2, and then 3rd and 4th petal, so that way you have only used 3 petals, similar to my Dahlia template 77, where I use 3 petals and I just double up the first 2 layers, which you could do that if you wanted to with template 44. I mean, you definitely can, but if you want to use 4 petals and just, you know, each petal is a different layer, you definitely can. So there's an option there. If you just want to use 3 petals and just double up the first 2 petals, you certainly can. Just because you receive a lot of petals, that's why I just originally used 4 petals. Okay, now you also receive 3 base circles. Okay, so these are going to be your bases, so how you start off your dahlias. Okay, so you do receive 3 different ones. Now, I don't tell you, like, there's no instructions telling you which petals you use. Kind of roughly, I pretty much, how can I say this, like, kind of estimate, like, or guess, like, the larger petals, obviously you're gonna want to use the larger base. The middle petals, then you're gonna want to use the middle base, and then your smaller petals, you're gonna want to use your smaller base. Now, it has mentioned earlier when I was showing you my floral wall, I was telling you guys that first today tutorial, I'm not going to be using cardstock just because I like showing you guys different alternatives for paper. So I am going to be using this faux suede paper. It just, honestly, it feels like suede, from Ecological Fibers. I am absolutely obsessed with their suede paper. You can find this on Amazon. You can find them on Amazon, also Walmart. I actually ordered from them a while back because I actually like to use their suede paper for making palms. And they had the color that I needed at Walmart, online, not at the store, online. But yeah, so today I am going to be using their suede paper. So you can definitely use text weight, 65 pound, or cardstock, 65 pound weight, or text weight paper, which is just thin printer paper. I definitely recommend either one of those for making anything thicker cardstock wise. 90 pound I have worked with, but anything over than that, like in the 110 pound mark, it is kind of harder to work with, I'll be quite honest with you. So ideally I like to stay 65 pound or under. This does have the feel of text weight paper. It's very thin, it's very flimsy, but I'm going to show you. So I am going to be using my I'm not going to be using my Cricut machine. So like as mentioned, she is available in SVG, PDF, and hard copy. Personally, because this is a larger template, I personally like to just do the old school method of tracing and cutting, just because I don't have the patience to you know, if you're following me, you know this. I don't like uploading and loading the paper, you know what I mean? But I will say that for my template 91, oh yes, I do use my Cricut a lot, just because, I mean, you can fit a lot of petals. So as for me, that's just an easier way for have Cricut to cut. But personally, for these larger like petals, I would just rather trace and cut, just because I'm not going to try to upload and download. But I mean, that option is there for you, okay? Okay, you guys, let me show you which petals I am using. So I am not using the first 3, so take those away, but I am going to use the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th petal, okay? And I'm going to use the smaller base circle. So roughly, I'm going to make 9 and 9 of the first 2, and then I'm going to make around 6 of the last 2, and then we'll see. We most likely will not use them all. That's just kind of like a starting point for me, okay? Doesn't necessarily mean that's how many you're gonna need, because it does also depend, you guys, on the way that you prep your petals. For instance, first let me show you how to prep them, and then we'll get it. So definitely you need something to curl with. So I kind of like to give the petals a little kind of curl inwards, just to help with the little folding that we have to do. So you're making a cone on the bottom. Okay, and then you're just gonna pinch for a couple of seconds. And I like to get a thinner wooden dowel, and then we are going to curl the petals back. So if you have my template 71 Dahlia or 77, which is the mini version, kind of similar technique as to how we prep the petals and with the folding of the petals back. So this is how we are going to prep the petals. But as I had mentioned before, it also depends how many you might need, more or less, depending on how you roll your petals, because sometimes the petals will end up being wider. So for instance, notice the difference, how this one's wider and this one is not as wide. Sometimes, I don't know, it's just happened. Depending how you roll it and glue it. And that is okay. I like a variety. So obviously the wider the petal means you're gonna need less petals. So that's why, you know, I'm gonna start off with a certain amount. I always typically start off with 9, and most of the times 9 hits the spot, or sometimes I need one more and it has to be 10. So don't worry if you end up using 12. Pretty much you're just gonna follow the same technique. That's pretty much what the goal here is. Just follow the same technique. Don't worry about not using the same amount of petals. Just follow the technique. So let me finish getting these last ones prepped, and then I'll be right back with the assembly. All right, you guys, so I have my smaller base circle. So one of the things though is that I do like to trace it onto just regular paper, just because it's a little bit thicker, only when I'm working with this type of material. You want to look for something similar. The color is a little off. I really couldn't find something similar here in stock. I'm sure if I would have gone to the store, I could have found something a little bit similar. Yeah, close enough. So then pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of glue on the bottom. And you're going to glue. So your goal here is to glue around in a circle. And that's pretty much it. So this is your larger petal of the 4. And you're going to go around. Now you could have used the medium base as well if you wanted to. I think that would have worked as well. Most likely you probably would need just more. Obviously the bigger the base, the more petals you would need. And that's it. We're going to go around. So I will be right back, and I'm going to finish up this first layer. All right, you guys. So I end up, how many did I make? 10? 2, 4, 6, 8. Yes, so 10 I did for the first layer. So now we're on to the next petal size. Assemble them, prep them exactly the same way. And so this time we are going to, I always like to start off first in between 2 petals. Okay, that's pretty much my go-to as to how I start. And now your goal here is just to go around in the circle. So it's not going to line up in between petals. Your goal here is just to go around until you get to this point over here. And that's pretty much it. And you're definitely going to use less petals as the first layer. Just a little bit like that. Definitely watch your fingers when you're pressing down. A wooden dowel does come in handy to press down like that. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this second layer, and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, so I'm done with that second layer. So we are on to the next petal size. So I'm going to switch up the color because I've been wanting to use this green. I always like to use make two-tone flowers. I don't know how particularly this is going to look. I almost feel like I should have done the dark first and then the lighter color, but we're going to see how this turns out. Anyways, I'm here to show you the technique. So if you don't like the color, don't mind it. But we're going to use this pretty, I don't know, it's like an emerald green color. So this is the third petal. So I am going to start again in between two petals. Doesn't matter which two. So I started in between that. And then now I'm just going to go around in the circle, and the wooden dowel here is definitely going to come in handy. And our goal here is just to close this gap. Well, not completely because we still have one more, but I mean like going around in a circle is our goal here. We can put that one in there, and then we're going to squeeze one more. And here, let me grab this wooden dowel to kind of press down. And voila, we are done with the third layer. So I did use 5. So now we are on to the last one. So let me go ahead and get those ready and we'll finish her up. Okay, you guys, so I'm back with the last petal size, and we are going to just fill in the gap in there. Definitely wooden dowel. And we are just going to, let me see, where can I squeeze this first one in? And then just use that wooden dowel to kind of press in the center. And then just stick them wherever you feel you want these. Here. Let's squeeze. I don't know. I don't think I can fit anymore, so I think I did 3 3 there. Let me see. Do I see a little gap? No, I think 3 is good enough. I mean, if you feel like you want to add more, you certainly can. I have done in the past, added more, but again, that all depends, again, as I had mentioned before, the way that you roll these petals. You know, some of them are wide, some of them are not as wide, so obviously that is going to determine the amount of petals that you are going to use. All right, you guys, and I hope you found that tutorial helpful on my template 44. This is the other template 44 I made years way back, but I just wanted to show you that you don't strictly have to use cardstock paper to make paper flowers. You can use other mediums. So here I use, this is, oh my gosh, why am I blanking? Why am I mesh? This is from a company called Mesh Decor. Absolutely love their meshes. And here, I think I made this like 3 years ago, I want to say. But just showing you that you can use also mesh if you wanted to. Look how pretty. So I hope you found that helpful. Any questions, please either message me on my Etsy or my email, arielelisedesigns@gmail.com. If you have any questions, any help, always happy to help. Definitely check out my Instagram, Ariel Elise Designs. I posted like a week ago. I did post a beautiful backdrop of one of my clients that she made using marigolds for the Day of the Dead. Oh my gosh, absolutely breathtaking. Definitely take a look. This is a very popular template, especially for Day of the Dead, and obviously for fall. Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will chat with you guys later. Bye.